Hey everyone, it's Mariarants. Hope you've all had a really great week. So my topic this week is going to be a little bit similar to my topic last week. We're going to try to tag on to tattoos and piercings in the workplace, more so leaning on tattoos this time, and just kind of talk about some businesses that many Canadians, well, hopefully all Canadians are going to be pretty familiar with that are okay with tattoos, and then we're going to talk about why they're okay with that. I also was asking my boss about this, and so she had a little word that she would have liked to put in, and so I think that it's really important to include that in here. And then we're going to go into talking about the Human Rights Code and why tattoos and piercings aren't really covered by the Human Rights Code and why I think that it should be. And then I actually did find a little bit of a case from Edmonton, Alberta, so we're going to chat a little bit about that, and then we're going to finally go into what to expect when going into a new job if you are a tattooed and or pierced person. So a company that has actually become a lot more tattoo friendly that a lot of us Canadians know and love is Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons actually has recently changed their dress code policies. It used to be no tattoos, no piercings were allowed at all, but now they've changed it so that visible, non-offensive tattoos can be shown. They did this because it really ups their cool factor, if you want to put it that way. It makes them seem like more of an accepting environment, and also a lot of the people that have these tattoos are the younger generation from about 18 to 30, and about 45% of the Tim Hortons workforce is actually in that age gap. So Tim Hortons is really focused on attracting youth culture, which makes sense because the youth of today is the older generation of tomorrow, and because tattoos are becoming such a huge thing in youth culture, it may carry on into the next generation. So Tim Hortons is wanting to up their cool factor, it's wanting to attract youth culture, and a lot of the people that they are hiring are in the age gap that youth culture is really a part of. So I was talking to my boss. I asked her the question, how do you feel about tattoos and piercings in the workplace? And she gave me the answer, everyone deserves a chance and they shouldn't be judged based on their appearances. She is very tattoo piercing friendly, so long as it's not offensive, which I would hope that everybody is. When we were having a conversation about it, she told me if a person has heart and what they're doing actually matters to them, then they're going to be doing a good job at their workplace, even if they're tattooed and or pierced. If they don't have heart, then they're not going to do a good job, but if they do, they will do a good job, and it doesn't matter what they look like, and I thought that that was a really cool thing of her to say. Moving into the Human Rights Code portion of my video today, tattoos and piercings are not covered by the Human Rights Code because they're completely optional. You're not born with them, you don't have to have them, and since they're not something like that, they're completely a choice. It doesn't really count as a human rights issue to be discriminated against because of tattoos. It would be different if it was something like sexual orientation or religion or race, because those are things that you can't really choose. But tattoos and piercings, you either have them or you don't. You can choose whichever you'd like. Now, I really think that tattoos and piercings, even more so tattoos specifically, I think that they should be covered by the Human Rights Code because it's a part of who you are. It is your identity, it may be how you express yourself, it may be something important to you, and all of those things make you who you are. And so for a business to come along and say, I'm not going to hire you because I don't like who you are, it's a little bit offensive. In Section 2B of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, everyone has the right to freedom of expression, and so I feel like tattoos and piercings should be covered because they are technically an expression. They're an expression of yourself put into a physical form on your body, and because everybody has that freedom to expression, I feel like it should be covered by the Human Rights Code. So in this case that I found from Alberta, there's a woman in Edmonton who is making a petition to ban the discrimination against tattoos and piercings in the workplace. I think that that's really cool. I would vouch for her completely on that because that's a really, really great idea. But a lot of lawyers, let's say, would be hesitant to take a case like that, and a lot of people don't think that she would win this case just because technically tattoos and piercings are not a right covered by the Human Rights Code. Since it's not protected, employers technically do have the right to refuse a person or to fire a person because they think that they don't represent the business in the way that they should be. They don't have the image of the business, which sucks, but that's the law, that's the way it is. The point that she's trying to prove, though, is that just because a person chooses to stray from the norm doesn't mean that they should be judged on that. They should be judged on their qualifications, not on their not wanting to be normal. Well, normal. And what she's saying directly, actually, this is a direct quote, is that people could choose to get implants or a nose job and it wouldn't affect their ability to get a job as long as it's considered within the norm. And that makes a lot of sense too, because those are things that don't really make you look crazily different if they're done subtly. But I mean, my final thought on that is if we were all the same, the world would be a pretty boring place, and so we really should have those people that stray from the norm and do something different. Maybe they have tattoos, maybe they have crazy hair. We need that, or else we'd all be boring gray blobs. So to wrap this all up for this week, I want to talk about what you should expect if you're going into a business setting and you have tattoos and piercing. Now, because a lot of places still are pretty conservative, what I would suggest is to go into interviews and go into your first few shifts covered up until you kind of get a sense of how the atmosphere in that building is. For instance, at my job when I first went in a long sleeve shirt and I took my piercings out. But when I got in there, I had seen other people that do have visible tattoos and that do have visible piercings, and so really it's just the sense of the business itself. Just to be safe, go in without a lot of things showing, and then once you get used to it, once you kind of get a feel for how that kind of difference is viewed in your organization, then you can choose whether or not to keep them covered up or to show them off. And personally, I really think that showing them off is cool. So that's my video for this week, guys. I really hope that you got some useful information out of my thoughts and the things that I've looked into this week. I will be posting a blog. As always, the link to the blog will be in the description box down below. And yeah, I hope you decide to come back next week and check out what I'm going to be talking about next week. I think it'll be fun. Peace!